Hey everybody, it's me again. Um, we are in a situation right now. I have to remember where the um, I have the camera is, where the lens is. But we're in a situation right now as a country, as citizens of this country, where we have a child driving the vehicle that runs our country. He is a grown man and has been grown for the past 70 some odd years. And he is messing everything up for us. I knew when he had so much to say about Barack Obama in 2011 and 2012. He didn't put his hat in to run for President Donald Trump. Didn't put his hat in to run for president until just recently, of course. But somehow, some way, he managed to put his 2 cents into the election or the second election of Barack Obama. And he did so in a way that it actually rang bells or had bells going off in my head about who we're dealing with when we talk about Donald Trump. We've known a lot about Donald Trump since a lot of us were little, whether we heard about him and his family or his father being sued for housing discrimination in New York, whether we've heard excerpts of a book that was written about him where he wouldn't trust a black person with money, or that the only people he trusted with money or trusts with money are the men with the yarmulkes on their head, and those are actual words that allegedly came from him. When the Central Park Five were, in my opinion, they were accosted, and they were blamed for a crime they didn't commit. But Donald Trump was actually the ringleader of making sure that they were persecuted in the media, persecuted in society, and he took out an ad, or he took out a space in the New York Times to admonish them and beat them down and basically convict them of a crime that they at that point were said not to have committed. Or basically, I believe a lot of people went on his word because he had a whole lot of pull in the city and because he had a lot of money. With that said, this man is beyond petty. He is beyond childish. If you can be beyond racist, that's exactly what he is. He is someone who does a lot of things deliberately so that people can say things about him. He loves having media centered around anything that he says or does. And this is a troubling thing because he sounds a little bit like, or actually a whole lot like, a dictator. Dictators love all of the attention that they can get. And Donald Trump is no different. He's always been this person. He's cheated on all of his wives, and we've actually come up with, there's actually proof out there now that he paid somebody or had someone paid off a female that he was dealing with while he's married now, that he was dealing with in 2016. Had her paid off. He's a philanderer, he's a liar, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's a all-around horrible person. And there are so many people, pardon my French, but there are a lot of people, from men to women on the right, who are hanging from his nutsack and just kissing his ass, no matter what this man does. And I found that very, very troubling. So I had to think about something. A friend of mine, one of my best friends actually, came up with the idea before Trump was even nominated. He said, and I quote, he said, if Trump wins, it's not because he wants to. He doesn't care about being a president. This is before we saw any of the things that we're seeing right now as per him being the president and, you know, making the wrong moves or whatever. We already knew what his character was. But my friend said specifically that this man did not want to become president. And if he does become president, he said, if he does become president, he won't know what to do. He'll be surprised also. I don't know whether my friend is a psychic or what, but I can tell you one thing. Everything he said came to pass. Everything. Just recently with Wolf's book, Fire and Fury. I don't think that I'm going to purchase the book. I'm already looking at, you know, social media and seeing, you know, snippets and excerpts come out of his mouth about Donald Trump already. So I don't feel like I need to read the book now. But everything he said, everything my best friend said in 2015 and 2016 is actually coming to pass. In the book, it is said that Donald Trump was told to Wolf that Donald Trump was really surprised that he became president. It said that everybody around him, his wife, his daughter, everybody was basically surprised and dismayed that he actually became president. See, the worst thing we could have in the office right now, in the public office, is someone who takes, who looks at the Oval Office or the integrity of the White House as a game. And he is actually playing a game with all of us. He moved into that house knowing exactly what we know now. He is not fit to be president of this country. There are a lot of people who are not fit to be president of this country. But I'm pretty sure that there are better people out there who could actually give it the old college try and do better than he's done over the past year. This is very, very disconcerting. I am very, I find myself being very depressed. I have a cousin who, and I'm not going to mention her name, but I just wanted to say that it's weird how I have a cousin who is a history teacher. And she actually posted a video and she was very emotional because it just seems like we're losing our country. We're losing because of this very irresponsible, this very controversial person in the White House. And he doesn't even care about the American people. He doesn't give a damn about us. The tax break that he gave to the upper, the 1%, that's not going to trickle down to help anybody below them. Come on. Come on, YouTube. Thank you. Yeah, but that is not going to actually help anybody in the middle class. It's not going to help any of the poor in our country. It was all passed so that the upper 1% could actually get, or the 1% could get a cut or a piece of the pie that was not ever going to be intended to be shared with anybody down below them. The average American is going to have to get 2 and 3 jobs to catch up to whatever it is whatever the standards are that the richer people receive, and that's not fair. It's not fair. I'm not talking about those who are not working and not, they're sitting on their asses and they're not doing anything. I'm talking about those who are busting their asses to work and get their mortgages paid on time and get their children's educations paid and college and um, uh, student loans paid off and rent and phone bills. I'm talking about those people. Rich people don't have to worry about that. They have people that they can actually delegate to take care of shit like that. But I want to get back on this president right now. I told you guys yesterday that I was going to start talking about um, a YouTuber by the name of Candace Owens. And I just remembered her name, Candace Owens, and she goes by the pen name uh, Red Pill Black. On I don't know what's going on. Stop. And this and my connection was fine. And now it says very bad connection. It says very bad connection, I believe, because this is how YouTube censors people. And if I happen to lose my page because I'm talking about Donald Trump, I really don't care. All the years that I've actually been on YouTube without having been paid for the largest viewership on my page, I wasn't missing any money. So if they want to cut me off, cut me off. I will be fine. I will find another way to send my message. YouTube is not the be all to end all. But I digress. Candace Owens was being interviewed by goodness, I can't remember his name, but I'll put it in the bottom of the description when I get it. She was being interviewed, and basically she came to discuss why she had turned from being a liberal to being a conservative. I found myself in the same situation. The only thing is that I didn't feel like I needed to become a Republican or a conservative in order to feel good about my situation. I didn't need to do that. I don't respect conservatives, and I don't respect even some Democrats right now. I'm good just being somewhat of an independent. I am never going to be a Democrat again. I am never going to be a conservative. There is nothing that will make me turn into a conservative, because I've been told by conservatives that when I was a liberal, that in order for us to listen to you, you need to drop the Democrat lingo. You need to drop the entire party. But the thing is, how much are you supporting my freedoms when you're giving me an ultimatum about who you think I should follow? Sorry, you want me to stop being a sheep, but you want me to go in the direction your herd is going in. No, you're a sheep too. So in that situation, I actually agree with her. I don't believe in politics being something that you have to be involved in. No. I didn't vote in 2016 because I did not have a horse in the race. I don't like or respect Hillary Clinton because she's a liar. It has nothing to do with Benghazi. It has nothing to do with a dossier. It has nothing to do with that. She was a liar in 2004 when I was a military spouse and living in Long Island. And the citizens of Long Island, where we were asking, all of the neighboring suburban towns were asking or demanding that our base housing area be cut down and us kicked out of it because it was bringing down the value of their properties, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of before. And I think it was also because there were a lot of there are a lot less black people in like Levittown and other places in that area. And to remedy this, our DOD or Department of Defense actually sponsored a town hall meeting for the military families in that area, in our area. We went to, and it was said that Hillary Clinton was going to show up. This was 2004. Yeah, I hold a grudge for a long time. Yes, I do. But it's for a good reason. She didn't show up. But not only did she not show up, but she sent a lackey, a Hillary Clinton lackey. Actually, I don't even know if he had anything to do with her because he didn't know any of the verbiage that she was supposed to share with us. He was there to listen only, and that was it. That was it. When we were crying and trying to figure out where do you want us to go? Our husbands are out or overseas and things of that nature. What is it that Mrs. Clinton wants us to do? And he couldn't answer a question. That's when I lost respect for her. Because, first of all, you are the first lady of this country, not 4 years before that. You were the first lady of this country, which means that every time you looked at a military family member, you rolled your eyes or you looked down your nose at them. And that was something that I was not going to deal with. So when I heard that she was running for president, I'd already made up my mind. No. And I really made up my mind not to vote for her because after it had come out that she had lied about being in either a helicopter or some kind of air transport where it was heavily fired upon, and nearly people the people in the plane that she was in their lives were in danger, and that was not the truth at all. That was not the truth at all. The people or the servicemen who were in the air transport with her came out and said, "No, that's not true. We were sitting next to her. We weren't fired upon." I don't like that. Bearing false witness? No. You're not going to be able to pull the wool over my eyes in this. This is why I don't subscribe to, even when I was a Democrat, I didn't believe everything I heard. I wasn't sitting there following blindly. When I voted for Obama, I knew why I was voting for Obama. I had researched him. This wasn't about color. Not at all. This was about somebody with common sense and common goals. And he wanted to make sure that we had at least a foundation by which so that we can actually, so that life could be just a little bit smoother. There has been no presidency on record where America has actually been on solid footing all of the time. Never. Never. Not even when we were debt free during the time that Thomas Jefferson was president. We still had issues. So I don't look at politics the way a lot of other people look at it. What I dislike is when people look at me or look at other black people and determine that they know how we voted or who we voted for. Some people still, so how did Obama work out for you? I don't like that. Don't ask me how Obama worked out for me as though I voted for him because he was a black man. Don't do that. When I voted for him the first time, I was a military spouse who was comfortable living in base housing in California. Didn't have a worry in the world. I wasn't looking for food stamps. I wasn't looking for a damn Obama phone, which is some bullshit because Obama did not create the he did not create the government phone program. That was created under Reagan. Educate yourself. Um, but I guess today is just a big ass rant. I wanted to talk about Candace a little bit more. This is what I agree with her on leaving the Democratic Party because people there are just as flawed as the people on the right. What I disagree with her on is that I have to look at the Republican Party as though they are a savior, and they aren't that to me. They're people just like everybody else. They're humans just like everybody else. They are not superhuman. There is nothing that they can do better than I can do for myself. Period. I don't want reparations. You can keep that shit. I don't want welfare. You can keep that shit. I don't want a damn Obama phone or a government phone. You can keep that shit. What I want is for people to stop taking us for granted socially. I want people to stop taking us for granted and writing us off as though we're failures. Whether we're talking about the entire country or parts of the country. Stop doing that to us. Why? Why does that happen? This is why I don't want to have anything to do with the Republican Party. Also, and then I'm gonna kind of shorten it a little bit and try to trail off and get up out of here. But Alfonso Rachel. I actually was a follower of Alfonso Rachel. He's a black Republican who has a channel here on YouTube. I was a really good fan of his, and I didn't agree with everything he said. I didn't. I respected his opinion. Until I got a chance until I got a chance to actually talk to or instant message him a few years ago. Out of curiosity, because we had a whole lot of people talk about Obama and him not doing anything for the black community. And it was to my understanding, especially before Obama became president, that if he had become president and went into the black community to do anything, he would still be called a racist or a divider or a separator or separatist or something like that. And it would be to his detriment and be to our detriment that he did that. So I'm glad that Obama didn't put his all into helping us. I'm glad he did just enough to be noticed. Because we are not the only people in this country. So he did what he could for the 8 years that he was in. But what I'm getting at is that I had asked Alfonso Rachel if he thought. Now, we have a bunch of black Republicans and regular Republicans, white Republicans, who look at our situation in the black community, and they tell us, if you weren't, if you didn't have multiple babies by different fathers, and they, if we're doing a one-on-one, that's actually what they would actually tell me. That I am a woman who has multiple children by multiple fathers, or that you can't have my money and nobody was asking for their money. It's almost like they need to have the jump on whatever it is that they think you're thinking before you say it, and that's not what it is. They already have their preconceived notions about black people. So I asked him. I said, "Hey," how do you feel? Yeah, my Wi-Fi signal is going in and out of Wendell. But hang in, or if you'd like to, so that you don't have to worry about the feed and everything. Why don't you come back later, or share my video, okay? I don't know what it is. Yesterday it was fine. But what I was saying though was that Alfonso Rachel decided that he was going to kind of finesse me. Just be real, just be real slimy. So all I asked him was, since the Republican Party is always talking about what black people should do for their community, or what the Democrats have done, or asking what the Democrats have done, are any black Republicans or any white Republicans deciding ever to come into the black community to, I don't know, teach a man to fish? Now, when I say teach a man to fish, a lot of us with common sense understands exactly what teaching a man to fish means. They know. I don't know what's going on now. And my Wi-Fi signal is strong as hell. It's YouTube, I'm telling you. When we talk about teaching a man to fish, we're basically talking about giving him the tools so that he can go out and do his own thing. Not giving him something and then giving him a little bit and then coming back and then giving him a little bit. You give him the skill set to understand how to get things and provide for himself, provide for his family, provide for whatever it is that he's trying to accomplish in his life. But instead of him answering the question with something that was that made sense and that had some body and some logic to it, he decided to bash me. And he said, "Why do we have to come to you? Why is it that you want us to come to you? What you should be doing is stop listening to the Democrats and maybe we'll come around." Like, wait, hold on. This wasn't that conversation. The conversation we were having was, do you see black Republicans or white Republicans actually going into these communities where they say that we are so bad off? I mean, I don't understand how you know this and you've never been there. It's what I don't understand. So, yeah, you keep popping up, Wendell Moore. Uh, but my point was, if we are looking for help and you're talking about what we need, why don't you come in and teach our men how to, let's say, in working men, invest in the stock market, learn to save your money. Women, Republican women of any race, come and teach our women what you know about building our brands so that we could create businesses in our communities. Instead of doing that, he decided that he was going to go on a tirade. So I had to give him a little bit of my background. Divorced. I was on food stamps at the time because I was going through a financial hiccup. And when I told him that, some people tell me, don't be so quick to be honest with people because they're always going to look at you as though you are pariah. You are a pariah. And that's exactly how he saw me. When I told him that I was on food stamps, he went the hell off and told me, "What are you doing to get yourself out of this situation?" I said, "Well, I'm working." "Well, why do you need to be on?" "Well, because I'm not making enough. So I have to supplement my income so that I can feed myself because I have transportation. I have bills to pay. I'm staying with someone. I'm not in my own house. I have school that I was paying for at the time. I even had child support coming up. Imagine that. But that's another situation. And he didn't seem to care about that. just like all conservatives that I've actually talked to. So what I am learning to do is not so much depend on anybody else. I'll take advice, yeah. But you are not allowed to tell me, not a Democrat, not a Republican, not an independent, not a libertarian. You're not allowed to tell me that I am lazy because I don't have what you think I should have at a certain age, at a certain time. You're not allowed to tell me that. No. So nobody dictates to me what to do, what to think, or how to be. And that is fine with me. That is perfectly fine with me. Like, I'm very happy being single. I don't have to have a man. That doesn't mean I don't want one. But it just means that I'm cool if I don't have one. Just like I'm cool if I don't have a political party to jump around with and pal around with and an echo chamber. I don't need an echo chamber. So with Candace Owens saying that Donald Trump is basically the cream of the crop and everybody should leave him alone because because the fake news. I don't know why they think they created the words fake news. I've been saying fake news since the Fox News forum was up on Facebook 10 years ago, 8 years ago, or actually 9 years ago. We've been trying to find words to call Fox News because it's not real news. We've never, ever referred to Fox News as something that was real and tangible proof that they can actually deliver the goods when it comes to truth. So we've called it faux news, FAUX. We've called it fake news. We've called it everything. Everything but real news. Tabloid fodder. It's never been good. So with that said, my rant is pretty much over. So I hate that I'm losing my voice. Love what you're saying, but my Wi-Fi signal is weak. It keeps popping up, hon. It keeps popping up. But I was trying to say that for those of you who tuned in and saw that, or was listening to what I'm saying, understand if you are a Democrat and you happen to be a subscriber of mine and you don't appreciate the fact that I'm a Democrat and I'm not a Democrat anymore, please feel free to block me or stop being my subscriber. I will be okay. I've lost about 3 to 4 friends over the past year. Over the past year since Donald Trump was put into office, I've lost 3 to 4 people. Most of them black. Most of them, a couple of them were black Republicans. And a few of them were black Democrats. And I am completely fine with that. I am still alive. I did not die because of that. But I want to end it with this. If you are in a situation right now where you feel like you can't trust the government, wherever you are politically, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or whatever, it's completely freeing not to have any ties to people who love to dictate to you how to live your life as a so-called patriot, or what they think is a patriot. What I think is a patriot is not what these other people think is a patriot. Patriotism has nothing to do with what political faction you follow. Patriotism has a lot to do with appreciating the freedoms that you have in this country. I don't understand all of them. To this day, I don't understand all of them because many of the freedoms that were put here for American citizens were not actually meant for black people. I'm being real. So there are a lot of freedoms that we have in this country that are new to us, that we didn't even know that we had any power to take advantage of. Whether it's freedom of press, freedom of religion, freedom, because everybody believes that if we are black, we must be a part of the Nation of Islam, or that we must be anti Christian or something like that. That is actually so false. Black people have a lot of stake in the Christian faith. I'm Christian. I'm just not a religious one. I have a personal relationship with God. I don't look at myself as someone who has to follow religious doctrine in a church. I don't have to go to a church to sit next to people who are doing wrong all damn day long. I don't have to do that. I don't. Nope. My spirit doesn't sit well when I'm sitting next to someone I know really doesn't do everything that God tells them to do anyway. We are all learning, but for people, and I've actually had pastors to tell me this, for pastors to tell folks, if you do not um, congregate with people of like faith, then that's actually writing your ticket to hell. I don't subscribe to that. God doesn't want me dead. He wants me to learn things in life, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to do so with my personal relationship with God, and trying to be the best person I can be. I'm not any better than anybody else. But if you guys have any reservations about being anything, if you have any reservations about being anything, um, if you're having problems dealing with the Democratic Party, leave it. If you're having problems dealing with the conservative, libertarian, or independent parties, leave it. Take a step back and look at exactly what we're dealing with. It's everywhere. All of the shenanigans that Donald Trump is taking us through right now, it's everywhere. It's in almost everybody. The corruption, the philandering, the lying, the collusion, if you will, all there. And it's almost not even worth going to the polls anymore. It's depressing. Just when you think that you're voting for someone who could actually do something valuable, it means something valuable to this country, it means something worthy to this country. It's really sad. A year later, you find out that they turned out to be just like Donald Trump, unfeeling, uncaring, soulless, ego-driven, narcissistic, selfish, nasty. Oh my God, I'm telling you, I don't like it. So, um, on the subject of Candace, I agree and I don't agree. She says she exists so that she can talk to liberals and get them out of the matrix, basically. Give them the red pill. And I think that's a great thing, open their eyes. But do not tell them where to go. That's what our brains are for. Let us figure it out for ourselves. There's nothing worse than someone telling you, you know what, you're following the wrong people. You need to follow me. Why? So I can go to hell with you? No, I'm good. So that's how I feel about Candace. Red Pill Black. Look her up on look her up on YouTube. Her videos are very interesting. They're funny to a point. She has a lot of strong opinions about um, the Colin Kaepernick kneeling situations. She has a lot of strong opinions about that. She does. And this has been 40 minutes of quiet storm raining all over your parade with all of this craziness going on in our country, and it was boggling my mind. I didn't know what to do with this information, so I decided to bring it here. So, with that said, everybody have a blessed weekend. I forgot it was Friday. I came home from work and then I had to remember that it was Friday, and I'm off tomorrow. So, that means that later on tonight I'm doing another video. And this time it's going to be about us black men and black women. What do you want in a black man or a black woman? If you are in the market looking for a black man or a black woman to spend your life with for the rest of your life, what are you looking for? What are the qualities that they should have? All right? Have that answer ready by the time I come back here tonight, okay? Take care. Deuces.